What is going on? Happy Sunday today, actually. Today we're filming a day early. Typically I try and film on Mondays and Fridays, although the last couple Fridays haven't been doing so well about that. But today I wanted to film on Sunday because I'm pretty excited of this new setup. So you might have seen that we have a different background. Hopefully you've also seen that we have a better image. Hopefully you can hear that there's a little bit of better audio. So I've been really busy the last week, kind of getting this setup together so that we can continuously improve the YouTube videos. So if you're on the podcast and you're listening on the podcast, do me a favor, take a quick jump over on YouTube. It's youtube.com/PA boards. Let me know what you think of this setup. I'm pretty excited about it. It feels pretty good right now. So with that in mind, I just want to make a quick announcement before we jump into today's question. And this announcement is kind of on the same topic of what we're doing here with this background and the audio and the video is to constantly improve. You know, what I want to do with the PA boards is to continuously improve, not settle, not be mediocre, but really be the best platform for everybody who wants to learn medicine. So we're really kind of doing this huge overhaul right now with the PA boards app. Some of you guys might have noticed a couple of bugs that happened a couple of weeks back. That's because, we're making a lot of fixes on the back end. We're doing a lot of changes with the dashboard for the students who are taking the courses. We're doing a lot of upgrades on the videos themselves. We started the process, obviously, of getting some better equipment, some better audio. So we're I'm really trying, actually, I should say, to really improve the quality of everything that we do. Not only on the way things look, but on the content. If you've been on the Instagram lately, hopefully you've noticed that we've been putting out a lot more content that's been curated specifically for PA boards. So it's been a lot of fun trying to get this whole setup together. And I just want to say one last thing before we jump into today's question is that the community is growing very rapidly. And at the end of the day, as of right now anyway, I'm one person. This means that I get a ton of emails. And I really do my best to respond to every single person. However, I do have to prioritize which emails get answered first, depending on the topic at hand. So I feel like I do a really good job. I answer probably 95% of emails, but sometimes emails do slip through the cracks. There are days where I'm not able to get to everybody's email, and I really apologize if that's you. If you've emailed me and I haven't responded, please know I'm not ignoring you. Just send another email. Sometimes there are days where I get too many and it's just very difficult to keep up. Right now I believe we have close to 40,000 people getting my emails. So you can imagine that there are days where, responses come in and it's just very overwhelming. So thank you for that. Obviously that is something we have to plan on tackling as well as we continue to grow. But thank you guys so much for the support. So that's enough of that. Let's jump into today's question. Now, today's question comes from a soon-to-be graduate entering emergency medicine. So we're going to get into the question and then I'm going to give the answer. Hopefully this is going to help out a lot of you new graduates as well. She says, "Hi Andrew, my name is Heather and I'm a third-year PA student about to graduate in less than 1 month. I got a job as an emergency medicine PA and I start this coming August. As of now, when I go in to see patients, I always have to write down notes on a pen and paper and need it when I present a case to the attending. I know that when I start in the fast-paced emergency department, writing down all those notes on a paper and pen will really slow me down. Do I just quit cold turkey, or is there a way I can ease myself into not taking notes and just recalling all the information off the top of my head? Thanks for everything you do. I really enjoy your YouTube episodes and the board review course is awesome. Best." So there's a couple of things that we have to keep in mind here. Number one, she's entering emergency medicine. Number two, she's a new graduate, right? So let's start off with emergency medicine. Now, this is, I'm assuming she's asking this question because I published a video, I believe it was last week or the week before, talking about the perfect patient encounter and what I do when I enter the room. When I enter the room, I don't bring a pad and paper with me. I don't bring a laptop with me. I sit down and I give my undivided attention to the patient at hand. This allows me to focus. Here's the difference though. I'm in family medicine, meaning that I can do that. And then as soon as I close the door, distraction free, I'm able to go straight to the laptop in the office and start to curate the note and start to write the note, document everything that just happened onto the patient's chart, the EMR, right? If you're in emergency medicine, this might be a little bit difficult. Why? Because there aren't necessarily rooms in the ER. There are curtains and beds. So it's very easy, and you can easily go from bed 1 to bed 2 to bed 3 very, very seamlessly. And it's done that way on purpose, obviously, to speed through the process. With that said, it's very easy to go from bed 1 to bed 2 to bed 3, meaning if you're doing a patient assessment on bed 1, and then all of a sudden you have an episode, or bed 2 calls you, or bed 2 starts to have vomiting episodes or needs pain medication, you have to order that. Now there's an increased time lapse between the time you saw bed 1 to documentation. Let's say now you're pushing meds for bed 2. The nurse calls you over because there's a problem in bed 10. Now you have to go handle bed 10. You get a consult. There's a lot of distractors that can go on because you're not going straight to a designated area to write your note. The patient visit doesn't end with the door closing. And the more time you have from the patient to the documentation portion, there's an increased risk of having errors, increased risk of mixing up information between patients. It's kind of like the game telephone, right? Where somebody, I don't know if you've ever played this, but when you're little, there's a game called telephone where you whisper into somebody's ear a sentence, they whisper it into the next person's ear, and then by the time you get to the 10th or 15th person, you have a completely different sentence. And that's just because the longer it takes to get somewhere, people add their own little twists, right? So same thing in real life when you're documenting. If you're going from bed 1 to now chatting with the nurse, to now having a consult in bed 3, to now pushing medications to bed 4, and now finally you're going to document, you're going to be prone for error. So be very careful of that. Secondly, you're a new graduate. So this is a skill that's going to take some time to hone. You're not going to be able to graduate from school and then immediately start to do this and quit cold turkey, because it's not simply doing this documentation. You don't have a good base of medicine just yet. Also, there are other things that come into play. Learning the EMR system, learning hospital protocol, right? Learning where they keep the supplies that you might need on a daily basis. Little things like that you don't really think about. Everything is so new that it's all so overwhelming. Don't add another thing to your plate. Don't make it more stressful than it needs to be. Once you've been there a while, once you have kind of control, once you kind of have a good bearing as to where you are on a daily basis, then you can start to incorporate something like this and start to master this skill. You never want to master or try to attempt to learn 2 skills, 3 skills, 4 skills at one time, because it's going to be a disaster. So my advice to you is to not do it cold turkey. Gradually, as you gain more experience in medicine, as you get more comfortable in the emergency room where you're at, then you can start to do this little by little. Don't quit cold turkey. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this answered your question. If you know somebody that might find this video helpful, please share this video. This really helps get the YouTube out there. If you're listening on the podcast, please leave a rating or review. Again, this really helps get the podcast out there so that more people can find the free YouTube, the free podcast, so that we can continue to grow this to help and serve more people. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to do this. I really appreciate everyone's attention. I really appreciate everyone's support. And, there would be none of this without all of you guys. So thank you guys so, so much. I really, really do appreciate it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, you can always DM me on my personal Instagram, AND_REID, or you can DM the PA Board's Instagram, PABOARDS. Or if you have a question and you want to send an email, you can do so at andrew@physicianassistantboards.com. Like I said, I really, really try and respond to every single person. I actually got an email maybe a week ago from somebody asking he said, I'm not sure if you respond to your own emails or who responds to the emails, but I just wanted to double back and send another email to make sure you received it. And yes, I do answer all of the emails. Like I said earlier, we're now approaching close to 40,000 people who get our emails multiple times. I send these out multiple times a week. I try to anyway. So that's a lot of people. You can imagine how many people are replying, how many people are sending just questions. So things can get lost, and I really do apologize for that. Again, something that is going to need to be fixed in the near future as well. Again, thank you so much. Hopefully you have an amazing week, and I'll check you on the next YouTube and or next podcast. Take care, guys. Bye.